just something about monochrome, about images that tell their story through shades of gray. Traditionally, it's often used to connote classical virtues such as dignity and reason. And it's also often used to connote strangeness and alienation.
In the twilight zone.
But is it really worth buying a special camera to capture that monochrome magic? That's what we're going to try to unpack today. Okay, at the basic level, nobody needs a monochrome camera. If you've got a color digital picture and you wonder how it would look in black and white, it's easy to just take the color out with software. One big advantage is that if your image contains two colors that look about the same shade of gray, what black and white shooters call a tonal merger, you can adjust the color mix so they separate better. To do that with a monochrome camera, you'd need to carry around a set of contrast filters, which is a pain. Still, film photographers know that the secret to success in black and white is to commit to it. You have to see differently and think differently. That may explain why, in 2012, Leica Camera introduced the Leica Monochrome, a version of its M9 rangefinder camera that could only take black and white pictures. Of course, Leica, being marketing geniuses, didn't stop there. They created a whole cult of monochrome, pricing the mono camera higher than the color version and spinning out romantic riz about Henri Cartier-Bresson and the purity of black and white. Various Leica idolaters wrote technically sketchy but impressive sounding articles claiming that the monochrome delivered miraculous sharpness, detail, and gradation. And those claims are still floating around the internet, even though cynical people, like me, could never actually see those alleged miracles in real-world pictures. It all added up eventually into a cult fascination with digital black and white, a Monochrome Mystique. Leica had the Monochrome Mystique all to itself for years, but now there's a black and white mini boomlet. This past summer, Pentax introduced a monochrome-only DSLR that seems to be selling well, and feisty little Pixii unleashed a patent-pending mode that basically reverse engineers out the color filters, leaving a pure monochrome image behind. Meanwhile, several companies will give your old camera a new lease on life with a hardware monochrome conversion. So, more people can experience the Monochrome Mystique than ever before. But, is it real? I had a chance to find out last weekend on a pre-holiday break in Kansas City. I was staying on Country Club Plaza, which has a famous 15-block display of colorful Christmas lights, and the sidewalks were crowded with happy, excited people. But the moment I clicked my Pixii into monochrome mode and shoved it in my jacket pocket, I could feel my mood shifting into black and white. My hotel room took on a sort of film-noir allure. Out on the streets with no white balance or color temperature settings to worry about, I started noticing quirky details and people who seemed more solitary than festive. In a dark block near the Intercontinental Hotel, I found a strange mist drifting across the streets and creepy, ominous entrances, and I was all over it. After a couple of hours of prowling the night, I ducked into the new Strang food hall, demolished a Latin fusion dinner, pulled out my phone, and picked a few favorite shots from the Pixii app. After a few Snapseed touch-ups, I had an angsty little photo essay to share with my friends. Is the Monochrome Mystique real? You decide, but I say yes.